What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Jack Ramsay's pregame show. Danny Marang, once again, the lovely, the wonderful Brandon Sprague. It's the introduction I gave to Jamie Hudson in the postgame. So now I guess you have to be lovely and wonderful too. How was your Sunday, buddy?
My Sunday sucked, but it was also great because I got to watch Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes on my cell phone as I did a gambling show live. That was fun. And you know what? I got to be honest with you here. I didn't have to watch that Toronto game and come back and be like, hey, it's time to make the play and we're going to the playoffs, baby.
God damn. Yeah. All right. Well, you're a monster.
Trying to find letters here to take down Don't Be a Bitch Sprague and put John Hollinger, leave Damian Lillard alone, please. Please. I'm asking you.
I think Sean Highkin of Bleacher Report coined it best when he called it the do what's best for Damian Lillard industrial complex. Patent pending TM.
Shout out Highkin. That is fantastic because that's exactly what's been happening for his entire career. That's right. His entire career.
For some people out there, they didn't get the fact that I was like halfway trolling the other day when I said something along the lines of, why haven't we heard trade demands for Joel Embiid to get out of Philadelphia? And everybody's like, well, he's not 32 years old. I'm like, oh, yes. This noise actually just started around Damian Lillard this year. It definitely wasn't there for the last 5 or 6 years. Stephen A. Smith definitely didn't say something about the Knicks 6 years ago. Actually, 8 years ago, to be completely honest. So, yeah. But tonight, the Portland Trailblazers, Brandon Sprague, are taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that is 3 games ahead of the Trailblazers. Would probably be seen as a very successful season so far for the Timberwolves, 23-23, 500 of the season. The Blazers are just as many games behind the Timberwolves as they are away from the 13th placed San Antonio Spurs. In the post-game show, we'll talk more about to tank or not to tank. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, I'm sure that's going to sit real well when they win this game tonight. I'm sure it's just going to go over swimmingly with people. Like, oh, you mean they've won 8 of their last 11 and you're asking them to lose? What are you talking about? This is a great team.
The takeaway tonight, or excuse me, the what to watch for tonight is a couple different things. The T-Wolves are coming in mostly healthy. Let me go ahead and check and make sure the injury report is updated. We should have the most recent one now. We're probably
they had all their dudes for the Nets game.
Yeah, I mean just Beverly. There I can literally see PR for Portland Trailblazers in the Slack channel typing right now. So I'm wondering if they're sending the report right now. But it is just Patrick Beverly who is questionable. Come on, Jacob. I can see it. Jacob Gifford is typing. For the Portland Trailblazers, Robert Covington, Dennis Smith Jr., and Nasir Little were all probable. Obviously, Cov took that pinky and dislocated it and reset it on the floor himself, which metal as hell.
Yeah, which is very Robert Covington, right?
Yes. So this is the official injury report, and literally just saw it from the Blazers. Patrick Beverly and Leandro Barmero, who's on the G League assignment, are both out. Cov, Smith Jr., and Nasir Little are available. Dame Nance and Zeller continue to be out. And again, from what I've heard, I think Zeller might be done for the year.
It feels that way.
They kind of keep dragging this out a little bit. It's a little weird.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. What do you think? Where are you hearing anything about Nance?
So, again, it was kind of funny that, a guy who used to cover him in Cleveland a lot had a report on him that he was going to be out over a month and that it was a bone bruise and not just knee inflammation. I think we are now on week 4. So, probably not back by the All-Star break as it sits right now. A little dicey.
I mean, I don't even know what to make of any situation right now with this team. I'm following this team all year. We're doing this podcast, and every single day someone goes, hey, what do you think about this? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe.
Let's check back in a week.
Like, if you told me Larry's getting traded and this is part of that recovery process of not putting yourself in a bad situation, I wouldn't be shocked. If you told me he's back, okay, great. But there's so many things up in the air and so many question marks surrounding this team. And yet, Daniel, they're playing good basketball.
Yeah, 7-4 in their last 11, and they win tonight, 8-4, which would be a hell of a run, be their best run of the season. Taking on a Timberwolves team that I don't want to get bury the lead here, but the over is quite high tonight, Brandon.
Not a lot of defense. Yeah, not a lot of defense. They are the number one volume shooting team in the NBA. They're not great at making it, but they
get them up and they play quick.
Yes, and they've won 7 of their last 10. So you're kind of getting like an evenly matched teams coming in at the right time against each other.
Yeah, so Cat is having another Cat-like season, shooting 52, 40, 81.
Yep.
Which, again, remember, he's the greatest shooting big man of all time, according to Karl Anthony Towns.
Well, nobody had a worse pandemic. I'm just going to give him that crown. If he wants it,
you just want to let him have it. You're not going to fight. You're not going to like hang Dirk posters over him.
Nope.
He's had a rough time. That's true.
Yes.
Also, D'Angelo Russell seemingly going under the radar this season, having a really good year. Well, not a really good year, but an okay
year.
Like, it's just a good player. I think, obviously, the highlights of, recording people's conversations in the locker room in Los Angeles, I should call that a low light, maybe cast a little bit of a spotlight on him that wasn't all that great early on in his career. And it's kind of funny. He's still 25. Cat is just now 26. And speaking of young fellas, Anthony Edwards, 20 years old, 4 and 5, with 44, 38, 81 shooting splits. They can get points. They can score, man. Their point of attack defender, the best point of attack defender, obviously Patrick Beverley, is out tonight. Do not be surprised when all of a sudden Jared Vanderbilt is blowing up the Blazers' offensive plans tonight. Do not be surprised. Vando is a player that you don't know of unless you really watch this team, and he is making a name for himself. He is not a box score machine. 7 points, 9 rebounds, 1.5 assists. But what he does is play defense, and he's a very, very, very heady player. You will see him kind of be the quasi point of attack / team helper that they thought I think that Chauncey Billups thought Robert Covington was. But that's what happens when Vando's 22 and Cov's 30. So,
well, yeah, and I think that's a good point. I'm really interested to see what happens with this, because this line is Portland as an underdog at home. You mentioned the over-under. I'm not trying to get ahead of ourselves here with the jacked up line of the night, but there's a lot of indications, man, that this is going to be a dogfight. And it's odd because, like, they're right neck and neck with each other. They're just a few games apart. And yet they're also like, I don't know if Portland knows, are they going in on the play-in now? Have they scrapped the tank? Are they going to tank? Minnesota, we know.
They want the playoffs. They're thirsty for it.
They are all in.
And right now they're 7th. They're above the cutoff line. They're above the Mendoza line right now. For them, Brandon, they are having a good season at 500 through 46 games.
Absolutely. When you're in the top 8 in the West and you're a team like Minnesota that hasn't just been there in a minute and you've been there like one time, this means everything for you. And I think it's a pretty pivotal year, too, for their kind of rotation and just the Towns, Russell, Edwards era, however long that may be. It feels like everything kind of relies on them making that postseason this year, because I just don't know how patient the organization is going to keep being. Maybe they will be with the new ownership change, but you're looking at two teams that are kind of in a similar spot right now. And yet it felt like one team was playing for something entirely different than what Minnesota is playing for. And yet here we are.
Yeah, I don't disagree. That's the thing is, I think you have two teams that are in kind of weird windows and where they kind of find themselves heading into tonight's game. I need to pull up one thing here. Where are you at? Make sure I grab the right box, because I didn't grab the right one earlier. There we go. This is important, Sprague. As much as we want to talk about tonight's game. Do you want ants? Because this is how you get ants. No?
Do I want
Archer? You're not an Archer guy?
No. What?
Oh, come on. Because you get 2 ants tonight. You get Anthony Edwards, Ant, and Anfernee Simons, Amph. But
are you talking about bow and arrows, or are you talking about the TV show?
The TV show Archer.
Oh, sorry, I've never watched it.
Killing me. Absolutely killing me.
You probably had a great line right there, and I just absolutely ruined it.
You did.
I'm so good at that.
You quit on me. That's how it goes. But no, we get to have the battle for Ant tonight. Well, nobody is actually calling that except for me. I hope this turns into a fun, cheeky rivalry between 2 young, very different but very gifted players. See, Gabe Letterdale's in the comments. That's funny. See, I'm getting it.
Oh, there's a lot more Archer fans than there are people like me.
I'll send you the DVD box set. Okay.
Is this 1997? I think it's on Netflix.
It is, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of hell. But I think that as much as Cat is that guy, number one, I think this is kind of not necessarily funny, but interesting that Anthony Edwards, I think, has more Q rating, is more watchable, is more of a dude.
He's a personality, which helps a lot.
Yeah, and I don't think Cat's like anti-personality. I'm gonna get in trouble with this one, but I'm gonna say it anyways.
Oh, say it. What?
Karl Anthony Towns is 7 foot CJ McCollum. We're like, he can score.
Mm-hmm.
He can shoot that damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what else you brewing for me, buddy?
Okay, you're opening the tree here, the trust tree.
Mm-hmm.
I've texted with a few people about this very thing, and I've said I can't deny what his offensive talent is. Like, that would be ludicrous. Right?
Listen, 7 foot CJ McCollum is a bit of an offensive monster. But
I think that's still a little, maybe slight disrespectful. I would more. Well, God damn it. He reminds me. He's not obviously what this dude is on the defensive side of the floor. Okay, so let me just get that out.
And the fact that he is 7 foot tall does allow him to be more impactful.
Sure,
on the other end,
it's eerily similar. Just the team. What the future may or may not hold, it's eerily similar to Anthony Davis in New Orleans. If he's got the right pieces next to him, has he got a Drew Holiday? Is that what Anthony Edwards is? Then I think you can be a good team, get in the playoffs, and maybe win around. If you don't get that, if Edwards can't be that, if D'Angelo can't be that, what was Anthony Davis in New Orleans? They weren't very good. That's all, folks.
The one thing that keeps me from like really pushing the heat behind that take, because I don't know if I entirely believe it, but I'm like, you should be more than what you are.
Shouldn't their team be better than like a bottom feeding?
They should be.
Sacramento franchise in these last couple years. And also, by the way, he's a really young guy still. There is an element of when you get a Jimmy Butler, you make it work with a Jimmy Butler because you know what a Jimmy Butler is.
And was the last time they had him? What happened?
They went to the playoffs. So it's just that element a few years ago, the practice report that Butler just destroyed him verbally.
Took the 4 guys on the back of the roster,
scrubs,
beat the hell out of Cat and his guys, and gave him that work. Now, Cat came out this year, and this is why I don't want to fully dive into that take, fully commit, and was like, I get it. I get what he said now. Does he? Because now they seem to be doing a little bit more. And I don't know how much of that is Cat being better or Anthony Edwards being better.
I think it's a combination, though. Edwards is naturally going to get better. He was taking one. Many people questioned it immediately because LaMelo's looked good. But Edwards is a dude, man.
Is he an alpha? Is he a Jimmy?
I think he can be. I don't think it's fair to. There's not a lot of LeBrons in the NBA, right? Guys that come in at a very young age, and you're like,
18-year-old title contenders do not happen very often.
Well, they asked LeBron about shouldering the load at his age, and he's like, I carried a franchise at 18.
And I wanted to punch him for saying that, but at the same time, I was like,
it's true.
Yeah,
he's not wrong.
He did for 9 years. He did do that.
Yes, hey, 18-year-old high school guy, can you please pick up this NBA franchise? I think Edwards can get there. I don't think you can quite say he's that, yay or nay. But
he's on a good path.
If he's not, Danny, then what do you have? Because to me, Karl Anthony Towns is a good 2. That's
what I'm kind of getting to. Is Karl Anthony Anthony Davis is gonna be a Hall of Famer?
Well, he's a top 75 player too, but I don't want to get into that.
I know.
We'll just
his teammates should have had it over him. So let's. Just saying.
His backup?
Yeah, his backup should have been ahead of him by a pretty substantial margin. Yeah. But I don't think it's a bad thing if Karl Anthony Towns ends up being offensive Chris Bosh. That's a great career.
He's
a stupidly good number 3. a great number 2. And if he's your number 1, he's going to put up some stats and be a fun watch. But I don't know if he's the guy.
But even Bosh, like, to Bosh's credit, he was a good defender for those Miami teams.
But that was the switch being flipped. He got less offensive burden, concentrate more on the defense, didn't get the volume. Like, people forget Toronto Chris Bosh's numbers were bonkers.
24 and 12,
yeah,
am I right? Somewhere around there.
Bonkers through the roof numbers every year. You're like, that guy's pretty good. Like, I could see the same kind of thing happening where if they got a dude alongside Cat, that would make sense. And as it pertains to the game tonight, Yusuf Nurkic has had a pretty damn good January. I've taken a little bit of flack for kind of downplaying some of the stuff that he's done. I've caveated this way. His box scores have been nutty. His box scores have been incredible. His shooting percentage in the month is in the toilets. It's like 48%. And you're talking about a guy who gets almost all of his shots at the rim. He's shooting under 60% with shots at the rim in January, which, as a 7-footer who gets 85% of his shots there, that's not great. He's also turning the ball over a ton. But I was like, you know what? I feel like he's been really impactful. He's been really impactful, particularly in the box score, but in late in games. And I put this out on Twitter earlier, Brandon. Looking at clutch shots, I was like, okay, let's just kind of set the bar. 15 minimum shots in the clutch. And then I sorted by field goal percentage. Number 1, Jared Allen, 12 of 15. Number 2, Rudy Gobert, 11 of 15. Number 3, Yusuf Nurkic, 13 of 19 in the clutch. They've only had 16 clutch opportunities because they've gotten their ass kicked a lot during this year. Now, that is getting more towards what it has been. And actually, you know what? I haven't done this yet. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. Let's go ahead and sort games, all games. Let's go ahead and sort by January just to see how that looks. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, I have to remove the filter of 15. Oh, geez. Good God, Jokic has taken 22 clutch shots just in January alone.
Well, I mean,
been in a lot of close games and he's carrying them. Yeah.
Talk about carrying a franchise.
Good Lord. Again, this is what I do. I start clicking things. I'm like, I wonder about this. I wonder about this.
By the way, that's a good comparison / difference too. Like, obviously, Jokic has otherworldly skill set talent that most dudes in this league will never possess. As a 7-foot dude, he can move, and he's not as athletic as Cat, and
still finds a way to get it
you know
done.
what I mean? Like, you see the difference between the two franchises.
Okay, you can call this luck adjust, whatever you want, but this kind of confirms my suspicions. In January, Nurk is 6 of 8 in the clutch. And I think he's had, of this road trip where they won 4 games, I think he had 3 shots in the end that basically won them the game.
I mean, he was a big part of that into the Boston game. Jeez Louise.
It's impressive. Where he has struggled more so early mid-game, but in the fourth quarter, with the exception of Miami. Which
I mean, that's Miami, though.
That's Miami. That's just kind of a tough one to kind of watch. But I think he's delivered in moments, even when he struggled in games, to finish. So it's been an interesting kind of dynamic to watch this happen, because you're getting between Ant and Nurk these moments of picking and choosing. And I think they're feeding off each other really well. And you're introducing another new element into it tonight, Brandon. We're 20 minutes in. We haven't talked about this yet because I wanted to kind of caveat it because there's so much other stuff to talk about. But Norman Powell is going to return to the lineup tonight, and he will not be starting.
Well, he's got minute restrictions.
He's got those minute restrictions. Darn those minute restrictions.
Because he was gone with a major leg injury. He's got minute restrictions.
He had obviously COVID complications, and
sure.
He was cleared from that for almost 2 weeks. And conditioning.
Are we hinting at what we discussed a couple pods ago here? Are we okay? You're gonna have to bust yours out. Mine got put away, so you're gonna have to bust yours out.
You're moving, so
don't remind me. What are you getting at here?
The Ant and Nasir are not going to be taken out of that lineup no matter what. No matter what.
So CJ won.
Yeah, I mean, CJ's got the seniority. He's got 9 years with the franchise, and
well, you weren't going to sit CJ, but I had said when we talked about that, like, what are you? Like, just play Nurk and then put Nas at the like 4. Like, I don't really care what you do with the starting lineup. If that's an ego thing, let him start. Sub out like 3-4 minutes in. You'll be okay. And what happened, by the way, you sigh, and I get it. Like, you don't want to see Nas at the 4. I understand that, but what are you sighing about? Are you afraid the Blazers might be down by double digits? And
no, I am, you know me, that switch has been flipped.
Yes.
Ant and Nas are no longer just the future. They are the now.
Yeah.
They are the now. And if that's the way they're going to go, you don't go, oh, well, CJ's back in Norm. I think it's just like with CJ came back first. If Norm came back first, you might be like,
CJ would not become off the bench. You know that. Like, you know that. You know that's a damn lie, man.
But I feel like they're hiding this under the guise of a minutes restriction.
Oh, you're probably right. Let's give it 2 more games. If he's not traded, if
he's not moved,
come on.
Let's see how happy guys look. I will give Norm 3 whole games because he's a good soldier. He doesn't rock the boat. He is not one of those guys.
No.
But the first time you see somebody over dribble the ball with him on the floor, woof. Just dagger eyes.
Yep.
I would imagine that kind of transpires.
Well, here's the other interesting part. Like, I feel like we're getting too much into the post-game stuff.
No, we can get into it a little bit. We still got a little bit more time.
Okay, a little bit here. I mentioned this at the start. I really look at this team, this organization, and I don't know what they're going to do. Like, every time I read a new report, like I read Jake Fisher's report, I read John Hollinger's thing.
Nobody's willing to commit. That's the problem.
I know, and that's the frustrating part is I felt like 2 weeks ago we knew what was happening. And then they won a few games. I don't think that's necessarily what's involved here. And yet there's nothing. It's Utah's interested in Robert Covington. That's it. Like, there's a Toronto rumor today. I responded. And it probably wasn't even for Nurkic, but I'm like, is this a Nurkic tweet? Like, Toronto's looking for a bid and they're kind of being a big man, and they're going in on the buy. I don't know what the team is going to do. And
I would say after getting their ass kicked by Nurk, they probably are looking like, he just kind of went in there and handled things. It'd be nice to not throw out an undersized big every single night.
And he expires. So, like, if you're in the buy now thing and you only get so far, like, he's off your books, maybe you could re-sign him if it works. So I don't know what they're going to do, but it's just frustrating because I see this from 2 ways. I see this in the media side. I see it from the fan side. I see the fan perspective of some, not all, not many, some. Hey, this team's looking good. Sprague, I think they figured this out. We get Dame back at the end of the year. Here we go. Again, not many, not all.
Even that thought still makes my.
And then I see the media side. And what is the media instinct? I think for most, if we're being truthful here, it's, well, they're winning games. They're in the play-in. If they win a play-in, they're in the playoffs. Don't you make more money when you get to the playoffs? Has this owner showed any commitment to make drastic wholesale changes on her own without needing investigations? No. The buy-in is not at that ownership level the way it is at teams that give a damn about championships versus revenue. And that is the tough thing, is I see that perspective. And then I'm also hearing, because I got a couple friends in this boat and I don't get it. I'm like, why do we want to do this? And they're just like, I mean, we're not really going to win a championship. So why not just be in the playoffs? It's like, I don't like watching them get their ass kicked in the 1A matchup. Not a fan.
Those aren't the only 2 options. I know there's a subsect of Blazers fans that don't realize this franchise was one of the top franchises for the first 30 years of existence in the NBA. They were the winningest franchise in the NBA over a course of years.
They had the longest playoff streak
27
of all time,
straight
right?
years and multiple finals runs through multiple iterations. I know that 4-year window between 04-05 and 07-08 sucked, but that was 4 years. That was it. Like every other, the Lakers went through more mediocrity the last decade than the Blazers have ever been through.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just...
The Knicks are still going through this. The Knicks
haven't been good since 1999.
Hey,
literally,
like it's 99, baby. LJ.
So frustrating. All right, let's get into our jacked up line of the night, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
sorry for the tangent.
No.
That.
We're right on time still. You're good. It was either that or I was going to do more ant versus ant stuff, and I was going to like start which one's the fire ant, which one's the, like I had.
Well, let's do that in the post game. Because we get, I mean, we're going to get a game to react to, right? We'll get what ant was the fire ant, what ant was the black carpenter ant.
I'll do some ant research during the game, and I'll put a poll up which ant is which.
Let's power rank our top 3 ants in general in the wild, by the way, at the end of the post game.
Oh, I was going to say just ants and like non-animal ants. I was going to throw Antonio Banderas in there. Blazers are +3 tonight on their home court, which keep in mind, home court this year was roughly 2.5, rounded up to 3 points. That means they are 6-point dogs to a team that has 3 more wins than them. Straight up, Portland's +130, and the over keeps climbing. This morning it was at 231. It is up to 233.5, and that is a monster number. And even I still think they'll hit it. Not touching it. Too big.
Not touching it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to do a parlay teaser here. I'm going to buy a few points and go down to go over. And then I'm also going to take Portland with a few more points to be at roughly, I think I looked at my phone, it was 5.5. And I'm going to do that teaser bet. I think Portland's going to win this game tonight. Home team. I don't see anything on this roster that's going to stop Anfernee Simons.
Yeah, no Patrick Beverley tonight, so they don't have anybody on ball who's going to be a real demon.
I see 0 in the way of use of Nurkic in the way he's playing right now. We know CJ's probably going to give you 16 to 24, depending on the night. Norm Powell give you a few buckets off the bench. I know that Minnesota has some things that are going to be damn hard for this Portland team to stop. But I don't know. It just kind of feels like it's maybe Portland's time right now, and they're home and they're a dog. Like, I'll take that, especially for a team that doesn't play defense. They're always going to be vulnerable in every game that they play. And by the way, I said at the start of the pod, they shoot the most threes of any team in the NBA. And they're also like literally in the middle of the NBA in percentage. I think they shoot 34 or 33.9%.
They either have a good night or a bad night. They are not a consistently good shooting team. Generic user says that the T-Wolves TV guys do ant facts after Edwards plays. We're gonna have
that's awesome.
We're gonna have to find something there. I'm gonna have to slide Lamar a little factoid.
How many ant facts can you pull out, by the way?
I mean, I could pull out a lot. Like the ants can carry up to 10 times their body weight. Like I know a bunch of these off the top of my head. So
well, I knew that one, but like I want to hear a fact that I'm like, whoa, I never knew that about ants.
Yeah, ants are weird animals. They're bugs, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it. I am not going to touch any of the game lines. I'm going to go for some props. I think that's the way I'm going to end up going here.
I love it. Some player props. Let's dive in.
I want
degenerate son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, that's actually what I rode all last season, and it ended up being a good year for me.
By the way, how many ants do you think exist? How many different ants do you think exist? This is a fun ant fact.
400.
Ooh, that's a great guess. 12,000.
Good God.
12,000 different species of ant.
And Anfernee Simons is the strongest. Okay, good to know.
He's the biggest.
So Anfernee Simons is over tonight is 18.5.
Over.
Yoink.
Put that on the board, please.
Placing more money than I should on that because it's been a good week for Papa and Cent.
50.
That's what I
50. 18? Why is it 18?
I don't know. Patrick Beverley's out.
He's going to get that in the first half.
I'm
laying that right now.
Oh, geolocation error. Don't do this while I'm using the app live, guys.
Oh, no. I've loved the Switch, by the way. Oh, my God. It's been a godsend.
I mean, it's supposed to be.
I know, but I know you're having a geofence situation.
Yeah,
but,
it's very, very, very frustrating. Because I'll allow this to take place right now.
Okay, how desperate does Philly get to trade Joel Embiid to Portland? Let's go. Let's fire up the trade machine.
I mean, I am 100% here for that. There we go. I just had to restart it. Sometimes it doesn't like the when you come back in. I'll allow you, Brandon, you have 30 seconds. This is Joey Pooch. He says, bang, bang, Niner game, and a 49er faithful in here.
Hell yeah! Went to Lambeau, fully expecting to get their ass kicked, and Aaron Rodgers, Oh, I'm sorry. I'm choking.
Mhm.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers could not get the job done. He had his last possession. What'd he do? Went 3 and out like a coward. Jimmy G's completing 3 passes on the last drive to give Robbie Gould. Jimmy Garoppolo with a bad shoulder and a thumb got the last drive. Aaron Rodgers could not at home break it up. If I was Green Bay, I would send that dude out. I love listening to his interview today because already it's all about him, and not about, hey, we as a team, we didn't do this. Go Niners. And it's going to be a home game this weekend when they play the Rams. I cannot
That
wait.
part is true. As an LA
All that
guy,
red.
yeah, I know that to be true fully. First of all, thank you everyone who has been here. We are on our push for 2,500. We are rapidly growing. We are back on that big push again. I don't know what happens, but all of a sudden we just see a big rush of people and the subscribers goes and just ratchets up. We love to see it. Shout out Lynette Thompson, who just became a member, and that is a good time to point out that we will have a watch party here tonight and tomorrow night on the back-to-back. I have a meeting with the playback guys on Thursday to see what is going to look like going forward, what kind of partnership we can keep going. I have had a ton of people reach out and say that they love it and give me feedback. I will give them all that stuff. Thank you all so much for that. If you haven't already become a member, head over, if you're on YouTube right now, click the community, click join, become a member, and then the links will be posted for the watch party in there. And I will put that up probably here in about 10 minutes. The feed should be up and running. I think we've averaged around 65 over the last couple, which is kind of crazy in this season to have a bunch of people pouring in. And actually, we crossed over 125 paid members right now. So
well, thank you guys very much for that. Thank you for sharing. All the support's been awesome. And I know we took a little break there with COVID in life, but it's been nice to come back and nice to see the support continue to be there. It means a lot to us. And the watch parties are fun.
They're a blast to just go in there because we can just
talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, endlessly, and that's half the fun.
Yeah.
I am efforting to get either somebody for tomorrow for the Mavs game. There is a coin toss chance. There's a coin toss chance that I will not be here for the postgame show tomorrow night. I may perhaps go to the game.
Hey,
with my pending surgery.
That's good.
And a particular owner possibly being in town. I may go have a couple discussions. So,
did you DM Mark Cuban and say, Mark, tickets, babe?
Hey, you're gonna be on the road, so just saying.
How quick could Mark Cuban get you to rip that sweatshirt off and also yell at the Blazers courtside with him? How quick would that be for him?
I mean,
10 minutes?
What's the price?
I don't think that's a problem. I'm asking you, assuming that's not a problem for a multi-billionaire.
Listen, I love my team. I will always have the Blazers deep in my heart, but I can't be bought, ladies and gentlemen. I can't be bought.
You saying I love my team sounded like somebody in a hostage video. Like,
just hit the GIF, just I don't. It is kind of what it is. I joke, but there is a good chance that I will be at the game tomorrow night. So if we do a post game, I may just do a late one. I might be able to try to do a feed from the arena, working some of this stuff out. It's kind of weird, but I haven't. You and I have talked about this off air. I have not been back to the arena since the last game against Memphis, before Yusuf Nurkic was going to make his comeback before they shut the season down in the first COVID year because they limited media the next year. And obviously this year I haven't been able to go because of my hip. So
I always sound like the lazy a-hole of this team. And probably people think that, and you probably have had that thought too, and that's okay. I really am. I'm like one that wants you to have a great life. And if you can go to that Mavs game, brother, we got the live show on Thursday. Like, go enjoy the Mavs game. It's Luka. He's in town.
Kind of what I'm thinking.
Like,
I just
don't do a post game from their arena.
Haven't seen Luka in person yet.
Go get drunk. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Talk to Mark Cuban. Do what you need to do.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You will know, Sprague, earlier in the day. And if I'm not going to be here, I will let you guys know we won't have a post-game show. But we will have a live watch party up here shortly. And until then, thank you all so very much. We'll catch you for the post-game tonight. We will have a post-game. For Brandon, I'm Danny. You can catch us on social media at Jack Ramsays, at Danny Marang, at Brandon Sprague. You can email us, jackramsays@gmail.com. And again, tonight against the Wolves, tomorrow against the Mavericks, and then we will have the live show on Thursday. So it's content, baby. It's going to be coming out quick, fast, and in a hurry. We'll catch you guys at the watch party if you're going to be there. Otherwise, we'll catch you at the postgame show.